Hello, and welcome back.
Hello. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome to episode number 17.
Oh,
Oh my goodness. I know every week I'm like, seriously, how are we here already?
right. How we found this for 17 weeks. Geez, found ourselves doing this for 17 weeks. But
Yeah, because we're having so much fun. So,
yeah.
welcome back to episode 17 of Living Richly with Curo. My name is Anne-Marie Laboe. I am the CEO and a partner here at Curo, and I'm joined as always by my amazing, lovely partner, Teresa.
Hi, I am Atrisa Roberts, COO and partner, here with Anne at Curo Private Wealth.
Yes. And today's episode is going to be a really special one because we have invited our retired partner, Anne-Marie Laboe. She
Mhm.
retired about almost a year ago now
Yeah.
from our firm, and she did an early retirement. So we invited her on to talk all things early retirement, how it's going, what has been surprising to her. We're going to ask her all the questions that you may want to know about early retirement. But today, before we get into that, we have another special little change up for you with our 18. We did not mean to twin today, by the way, but we are twinning.
We're always twinning, it feels.
Twinning. I love
Yeah.
it. We got that energy, that energy going.
Yeah. We're connected. I love that.
We are. We are. So today we decided instead of doing a catch up, we are going to share some of our favorite skincare slash makeup products with you. We thought that would be really fun. And this was inspired because I always ask Atrisa for skincare and makeup advice, and she's always got her finger on the pulse of what is worth splurging on and what is new and actually effective. And so we thought it would be really fun to just come on and do a little show and tell. So you are absolutely going first today because you are
Okay.
stronger in this game than I am. So what do you have for show and tell today, Teresa?
Okay, so today I have two skincare products and then one makeup product, but it's only because I rave about this product and I feel like there's no way I could not share it. So I'll start with the skincare. So when I started seeing an esthetician once I turned 40, of course, the whole conversation was around dull skin, drying skin, aging skin, all the terms you hate to hear about your skin as you get older. So the first thing she recommended to me was a good vitamin C serum. I have tried probably 3 or 4 versions of it, and there is one that I just absolutely love. It is a little pricey, and I'm sure that there are probably alternatives that are cheaper. But my first product is, and I'll hold it up to the camera. Sorry, excuse my vacation nails. But it is Dermalogica is the brand, and it is the Biolumin C serum. So it is vitamin C, but it also has hyaluronic acid, like some other really good things for your skin. The thing that I love about it compared to other ones that I've used, and I've used some other expensive brands too, like CEO Glow by Sunday Riley. This one I have seen the most impact to not just brightening my skin, but also helping to brighten dark spots. So if you are a melanated girl, you know acne scars go dark on you, blemishes tend to go dark. And this has been the most effective in lightening those for me without it feeling like it's bleaching my skin, if that makes sense. So again, pricier size. I think this bottle probably cost me $85 for one US fluid ounce. But I love it, and you don't need a ton of it. So it's got a dropper. I use about 3 drops on my face in total. I let it set in right after I cleanse my face. So again, love this product. The second product actually dropped, so I'm going to reach over and pick it up. But the other thing that I've struggled with is sunscreen. So
Yes.
I've always had a sunscreen allergy to chemical-based sunscreens. And for anybody who knows, mineral sunscreens years ago used to be abysmal. Like it was like just putting white plaster on your face anytime you wore mineral sunscreen. Now that they've become more popular, the formulations are getting better. So I found one for my face and I wear it every day under my makeup that I love. The brand is Tatcha, Tatcha. It is a mineral sunscreen, but it's also SPF 50, which is one of the highest I found in a mineral that doesn't leave a white cast. It has a slight tint to it, not like, like foundation brown color, but just a slight tint. But this has been the best option for me with wearing a mineral sunscreen that doesn't make me look like a ghost and that wears well and not oily under my makeup. So love this one. And you should be wearing sunscreen every day. Yeah. And then my makeup product is actually a setting spray. So again,
I heard you talk about this. This is your favorite. I tend
to wear makeup most days. I hate to admit it, but I always have on some form of makeup when I'm at the office seeing clients. So for me, it's about makeup transfer. I hate when you give a person a hug, you leave your makeup on their shirt, or you touch your face and now there's makeup on your fingers. So I have gone through so many formulations of good setting spray and fixing sprays. And the one that I love the absolute most is called One Size is the brand. And it's called the On Till Dawn. It's a mattifying waterproof fixing spray, which is a little bit different from setting spray. It almost feels like you're spraying like a hairspray type. It doesn't make your face sticky or tight, but it has more of the consistency of like hairspray. I put this on in the morning and my makeup sits unmoved all day long. I am obsessed with this. I buy it in the travel size so that when we are going to like business conferences where we start at 7:30 and we don't end sometimes till 8 or 9 at night, and I don't have time to keep retouching, it's perfect. So again, I always have this in my arsenal. Absolutely love this setting spray for the ladies that wear makeup. All right. So that's my show and tell.
We heard all about this because Beyonce apparently also loves this spray and got her hands on it. And so Sephora was out of it for months, and Teresa was just so upset. That's how I know about this spray.
For months, it was on back order. You couldn't find it in any store or online, but they finally, I guess, picked up the inventory. So now I pretty readily can run in Sephora and grab one, which makes me happy. Thanks for nothing, Beyonce.
I know, right? Thanks. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you have like a stock inventory.
I have been known to hoard it. But I also want to make sure that the other girls get to experience it as well. So I never buy more than 2 at a time, but I usually always have a full size and a travel size. Always.
Yeah.
Always. And this one just stays in the travel bag. So
yes. Awesome. Yay.
All right. Your turn.
My turn. So speaking of anti-aging, now that we're in our 40s, I too am spending way more on skincare than I ever thought I would. So my recent favorite find is this.
There we go.
Yeah. So it is Dr. Dennis Gross. It is Fill and Repair Serum. And it's meant to get into those fine lines that we ladies start to get, and men too, but get in our 40s. So it plumps and it hydrates. You only need 2 pumps. And I have seen a big difference in just how my skin is glowing more and more plump. And it's been amazing. And you only have to use 1 serum. I mean, I suppose you could use it with the vitamin C also, but instead of having to use like 2 or 3 serums, like this is the go-to one-stop shop. So I've loved it. It was also, I think, the most money I've ever spent on a serum, but not as much as yours. It's cheap compared to yours. So I think it was like $75, I want to say. Okay. So not so much cheaper, but a little cheaper. Okay. So that was a recent find of mine. And I actually feel a big difference in my skin.
I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, it's awesome. My second is Alchemy Forever. This is the Cantic Brightening Moisture Mask. Full disclosure, one of my best friends owns the skincare company, so I will put that out there. It is from Switzerland. So her dad is one of the most well-known dermatologists in Switzerland, and she runs this company, Alchemy Forever, here in the US. But this mask is like just deliciousness. It is like creamy and luscious, and it has the most amazing smell. And it almost makes you feel like you're in a spa when you put it on. So I love it. I try to use that a couple times a week, but it's got like lovely botanicals and hydrates, and it's just wonderful. And then my last product this is a recent find too. It's, how do you pronounce this? Lange? It's the one that does
I know what it is. I don't want to get it wrong though. Yeah.
Okay. So I've been obsessed with their lip mask Lange, I think. Their lip mask forever. This is the Bouncy and Firm Eye Sleeping Mask.
Ooh.
And it's amazing. It feels like satin going on your eye. So I've been sleeping in this every night. And so I put, I do my regular like retinol into my eyes and eye cream, and then I put this on, I just dab it, and it feels literally like satin. It is amazing. So that has been my most recent find. And it's incredible. It like cools and hydrates and helps with dark circles. And it's $32. So not bad. Yeah.
Not bad. Love that price point. Yeah. I mean, compared to some eye serums I see, I mean, at this point, I feel like I'm going to bed with just like layers of things plastered on my face between the serums and the moisturizers and the lip mask.
Yeah.
I just feel like I should wrap my head thing before I lay down. I've got so much product on my face when I go to sleep. But
yeah,
you start to age and you got to take care of the skin. I want to look at least 30 for as long as I felt like 20 was pushing it, but I want to look, that I could be 30 for a while if I could.
Yeah, exactly. I think so too. I think these are things that we will not regret in the future, that we are investing in good quality skincare. So we hope that was interesting, and we hope you got a couple tips. And for our guys listening, hopefully you took some notes for your significant others, or you too. I mean,
you too.
Yeah, we love men with good skin.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. And if any of these brands would like to sponsor the Living Richly with Curo podcast, send us an email.
We're open. We're definitely open to that. So I am so excited. I see Anne-Marie, so we are going to let her in, and I cannot wait to have this conversation. So let's bring in Anne-Marie Laboe. Hi, Anne-Marie. It's good to see you got the white memo.
Yep.
Now we are not just twinning, we are tripleting.
Yep.
Totally not planned, but hilarious and not surprising.
No, we spent a lot of time together, so I'm, doesn't surprise me whatsoever.
Well, welcome back to the crew. It's good to see you.
I know. It's great to see you guys. I'm sorry we don't have hours to talk, because I could do that for sure.
Yeah, we're so excited to hear from you. And as you know, we wanted to focus today's episode on the topic of retiring early, because that is what you did. You are much younger, much younger than the typical retirement age, and you decided to retire at least round one, right? We'll talk about if this is something that's going to last forever or not. But how's it going? Why don't you let us know just how life is going since you made the decision to retire? It's been almost a year.
Yeah. 9 months.
9 months. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good. It's been taking some adjustments. I think one of the best things is I don't have to get up in the morning, and I don't have to drive in traffic.
Yes.
Which was a big thing for you.
Yeah. After a year or 20 some years in sales, where I covered multiple states and lived in a car, and then driving from Frederick to Rockville, and the traffic just getting worse every year around here. It's just horrible. That definitely helped de-stress a bit. And, I'm still working on the sleep thing. I'm still not quite there, but we're getting there. But I know it's been great. It's been interesting. As you guys know, I unexpectedly, I knew it before I retired, but unexpectedly had to have back surgery at the end of November. So right after I left Curo, and it was something. The recovery to my back surgery was much worse than I thought it would be, and much longer. So I think knowing that I didn't have to stress about work and client meetings and trying to work while in a lot of pain, I think was probably a good call in hindsight on my part. Not quite what I had envisioned when I thought what I was going to be doing when I retired.
Yeah.
Because it was months. It was, in fact, I still have some residual issues from it. Driving long distances are still, can be problematic. But I'm definitely much better. So not having the stress of work, I think made a big difference.
Yeah, you could actually like fully recover
Yeah,
and take your time without trying to
right.
rush that process, which sometimes people feel like they have to do. How long do you think it took you to feel like rested and like not stressed anymore? And how many months do you think it took for you to like really feel that difference after not working anymore?
Well, I mean, you guys know me. Really, no stress. That's
Less
not
stress.
really. That's
Less
not.
stress.
Yeah, let's say less stress.
You've seen my Profile XT report. You know that I always have a level of stress, but that's just me, right? That's just how I get myself going sometimes. But I would say I'm still working on it a little bit, because I do think you tend to have just a place your body automatically goes when stress comes your way. So I don't react quite as quickly as I probably used to. I'm a little bit more, I don't know if zen's the word, because that's probably not really me, but I can take my time and kind of deal with things as they come their way. But I was telling Teresa the other day, I think I am just now getting to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm a little bored, right? I'm a little, I've gotten some of the mental and physical health things under control. I go to the gym every day. I do all the things that I want to do. So now I'm like, okay, it's time, whether it's volunteer work or a second career. I haven't quite figured that out yet, but as you guys know, when I retired, I was giving myself a full year of nothing. So I still got 3 months.
Yeah.
3 months of nothing.
You specifically said I'm not making any decisions for an entire year. And also your biggest priority was getting your health back on track. So it's good that that's how you've been spending your time. I know the back surgery was a curveball, but otherwise the rest of it has been exactly how you wanted to spend your time.
Yeah. I mean, it's been interesting. It's been great to have time on my walks and runs to listen to podcasts about women's health, which has become like a big thing for me. And we've all talked about it before in the past, but just the lack of information around menopause and perimenopause and postmenopause and that kind of 10 years of life that we all go through and the impact that it has. I think I told one of you guys, I actually listened to a podcast, and there was a study done in the UK. 1 out of every 5 women quit their job in their early 50s.
Yeah.
And they say it's due much to the symptoms of perimenopause and just the havoc it can wreak on your systems.
I'm sure.
So it was, it's really interesting. So for future podcast info, you guys can go that route.
Yeah. Well, I will note, I've seen you recently. You look fantastic. You look healthy and happy and in such good shape. So, you're still body goals for me, and
so, I'm still working on it.
So you're doing a great job. Are there any aspects of retirement that are different than the way that you expected or imagined that they would be?
No, I don't think so. I think, as far as like if I was giving someone advice that was thinking about leaving their profession, be it sabbatical, be it retirement, whatever the case may be, I think in hindsight, one of the things I wish I maybe pushed off the decision a little bit, although I'll be honest, I don't think it was in my best interest to, or yours, or yours. But I made a lot of big life decisions all at the same time. And I think that made retirement more difficult, only because I wasn't just dealing with the fact that I decided to step back from the financial industry. I had sold my house and I bought a home with my partner, and I had been single for 20 years. So, there were a lot of big changes happening for me all at one time while going through the decision of making the retirement and dealing with, the business with you two and trying to figure out, how do we, make this work and go forward and make sure our clients are being taken care of and all that kind of stuff. So I do think that it literally took me a good 6 months of nothingness to feel like I'm slowly getting there, because it was nuts.
You
It
also
still is.
moved states, and
Yes.
Right.
you had your friend and your support system that you had for decades in one town and one state, and now you're 45 minutes away. So I can only imagine, going through this retirement transition. There go my skincare products. Sorry. This retirement transition, and having the time to be able to spend with your friends, but now your friends are 45 minutes away, and your support group is 45 minutes away.
But the other thing that I think that I didn't think about when I stepped away at this age is everybody else is still working.
Right.
So that's been a little weird, right?
Yeah.
So it's been a little unusual. A lot of the friends that I've made now that I've moved to Virginia, that I've met through the gym, are younger, and they're stay-at-home moms.
Oh, interesting.
In many cases, or they work from home or do something, work and take care of children. So it's been hard for me to find friends that have the availability during the day.
Yeah.
So that's why I think I'm probably like, maybe I should try and do something. But if I could do it from 10 to 2,
that would be ideal.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know that I considered the impact to your social life, right? By early retirement. Like we talked on a couple podcasts ago about women who lose a partner, and now their whole social circle was coupled people, and now they're the single person. I think a similar thing applies, right? When your social circle used to be all working people, we all had jobs during the day, so we did happy hours or we did things on the weekend. Now you're always free and they're still at work.
Right. And I would say almost all of my girlfriends up in Frederick are single or no children, or, and it's just kind of who I met. And again, I met them through the gym, which is why fitness has always been such a big part of what I do. It's not just, feeling good about myself physically and mentally, but it's the community. And I just haven't found that where I'm living now. Most of the people I meet at the gym are younger working moms or stay-at-home moms with kids. And so they're, as you well know, Anne, crazy schedules, right?
Yes.
Constantly on the go.
Yes. Constantly struggling with the juggle.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that's probably the biggest thing I didn't think about was social life in that way.
Yeah, I think no matter how much you think about this decision and how much planning you do, there inevitably will be aspects that are impossible to imagine or impossible to plan through. So I think it's, thank you for sharing that. And that's why we asked you that question, because we were sure that there was something along the way that probably was a little bit different than you expected. But I know you mentioned that you've got plenty of time to make a decision about what may be next for you, but can you share any maybe ideas you have or thoughts you have about what perhaps this next chapter of your life may look like? I mean, we know things that you're passionate about. We have some ideas for you if you need help.
Yeah, we've got plenty of suggestions.
We have plenty of ideas of like consulting we think you should do, but we want to hear from you. We're like working out your life for you. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm all ears, because I wouldn't mind hearing it, because I think it's always good to get feedback from other people who know you, because you don't always see yourself the way others do. So always open to that. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I enjoy people, and I miss our clients. I miss the conversations that we had with reviews, and I have always enjoyed the planning side of it and figuring out, how to get from A to B, and doing that kind of solution type work. I'm pretty passionate about health and fitness, so it might be along those lines, even if it's just for fun. I'll probably go back, and I used to have my coaching certification for CrossFit. So I think I'm going to go back and redo that, and probably take some other classes. I want to take an Olympic lifting class, and maybe coach a little bit. I would probably like to coach teens too, like teen athletes.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not going to make any money doing it, but it would be fun.
You never know in this area. People are
Yeah.
paying thousands of dollars for their children and teens to get professional coaching from certified, professionals and staff. So
yeah,
well,
I
I
actually
like
think there's
the
huge.
group class though. I like group class fitness, and I like the idea of anybody can take it, right? It doesn't just have to be high-end athletes.
Yeah.
Because I think that's important to empower, especially young girls. I think one of the things I learned from fitness was just, we weren't weightlifters in sports back in my day, right? The girls weren't in the weight room. And so being able to do that and the empowering feeling that it gets from being able to pick up a barbell and put it over your head and squat with it or whatever is kind of cool. So maybe something along those lines, but finance is always something I can do, I guess.
You
don't sound
really
so
excited. I know. You sound really excited about that backup plan.
But you know how it is. Once you've stepped away from it, it's not that I wouldn't love to do it again, but I really want to do the things I enjoy doing. And you know how hard that can be sometimes, running a business. If I did go back into the financial world, I think it would be more in a support role, in some way, shape, or form, as opposed to running a business. I mean, you ladies are awesome at it, and I would be remiss to say that I never could have made the decision I made if it wasn't for you two, because I never for a minute had to worry that the business wasn't going to just get better every day with you two running it. So, I think that made a huge difference in being able to make that decision.
Oh, well, thank you for trusting us.
I will say, if you want just a couple of pieces of advice for people thinking about retiring, double whatever you think you're going to spend.
That's a good note.
At least in the first year. We got hit with tons of house stuff that was unexpected. My surgery was unexpected. So those types of things, I think was hard. I think anybody who says they'll spend less in retirement's lying, because you have more time in which to spend it. So, even though you could cut out some of the extras that you tend to do when you're at the higher end of your earning potential, it's hard. It's hard to change those habits. So.
Yeah, that behavior. So back to the teen, maybe being a teen trainer. I think, obviously I have a son who would be interested in this, but I think you may be onto something here, because teenagers are watching fitness people on Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat and all the things. And so I feel like this generation is very interested in working out and getting fit, but they also need to be really careful to make sure they're doing it the right way. You can't just watch a YouTube video and go into the gym when you're 13 and, hop on the squat rack and do a squat properly. So I know you're, more focused on the girls, but I was even talking to my 12-year-old the other day because he's very interested in fitness. He comes to the gym with me now. We work out together, but I'm not a trainer. And so I don't know, exactly how to teach him. And I was even telling him the other day, maybe we should think about getting you a couple sessions with a trainer just so you can make sure you're doing the proper form and, be careful about things that you want to be careful about when you're a teenager. So I think that would be awesome. Well, I definitely was thinking of something fitness, health related for you, for sure.
I do think though, with kids, you have to they're still growing. They should not be maxing out lifts.
No,
because their growth, depending on how old they are, their growth plates aren't set. They could really get hurt.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. If they just watch a YouTube video and go in there, they're maybe going to mess something up for the rest of their lives. So they have,
look at me, how many surgeries have I had? And I'm old. So, it's one of those things. Not necessarily all because of fitness that these things happen, but it's without proper form. I see it all the time. I think good coaching is so hard to find.
Yeah.
But that and women's health. So I don't know. I also love to open like a recovery center. I just don't know enough about it. Where you can go and do the ice bath, and you can do the infrared saunas, and you can have some PT people there that do physical therapy that might work out of there, and have a section where you can work on training as well. I can figure out how to
on the women's health side, I think you have such a unique perspective and about changing bodies during different phases of life as a woman. I mean, I'm noticing now that my weight loss looks different, right? The things that I could do to lose weight when I was 25 don't work at 41, right? So I think as your body transitions through different hormonal phases as women, even the way that impacts our fitness and the things we have to do different, and the way the diet has to look different as you get older to get the same results that were much easier to see, right? When you were much younger. I think you have such, and especially having done fitness for so long and been fitness oriented for multiple decades, and seeing how that has shifted your body through different phases of life, I think is such a great, it would be something I, as a woman, would be interested in someone coaching me through. Right? Like, you might be perimenopausal. Here's something we may want to do differently with your diet or with your fitness regimen to accommodate for those hormonal changes and imbalances. So just another idea, tossing it out there.
Yeah,
for it.
I'm telling you, I listened to so many podcasts about women's health and sleep being the number one recovery, for all people, and to be able to, just work at your best. Sleep is so important, and sleep is probably the one thing none of us get enough of, particularly in our 30s and 40s when we're raising kids and working full time and have demanding jobs. And, the financial industry doesn't let you sleep, right? And at least not the way I am and the way I approached it. And, you've got to learn to block time for yourself. And it's so hard to do when depending on just the work ethic that you have, and you feel like you have to reply to clients all the time now that everybody can get to you 24/7. So, I think it's very interesting to read all that stuff. I would tell you ladies, if I was to give you some advice, just based on what I've been going through for the last 2 years in particular, is I would get blood work done so you know what your hormonal levels are today, because they have nothing to compare it to, and everybody's different. So when you get to a point where they start talking about hormone replacement therapy, which now they're talking about, you should have it earlier on, like as soon as you start to see the changes, as soon as you start to see the night sweats and the, because that's just it's because you don't have estrogen, right? The estrogen is dropping. That all those types of things can be very beneficial in maintaining. And the brain fog is real. Like for years, I used to have a memory like a Teresa. Thank God I worked with her, because she could remember everything. And all of a sudden, I'm searching for words because all of a sudden I can't think of the right word. And you feel like you're going nuts, right? You feel like you're crazy. And it's, it's really difficult especially when you work in an industry like we do, where you're constantly interacting with people and trying to communicate sometimes difficult things for people to understand, and you got to be able to do it, in a way that they can comprehend. And when you're struggling to what is the word? Money, yes. Simple stuff. It's it's really kind of funny, if you can't laugh at yourself, but it's no joke. It's no joke. I'm happy to see that it's starting to come forward a little bit more in health, and as you guys focus on women in particular, as we always have within the firm, I bet it plays a role in the financial plan in some way, shape, and form.
Yeah, you'll have to come do a client event, like an educational client event. Once you launch your business. Let me get a little more
knowledgeable first. But
once you launch your business, we can have you in for a client event. So awesome. All right. So we're out of time, but we have a very important question also that we like to ask all of our guests, which is, what does living richly mean to you?
Living richly for me is really just living a healthy life, being around my family, the people I love, and trying to give back in some way. I think, trying to live a lifestyle that you can be a role model to people that you don't even know are looking at you. So I think that's really what it is to me.
Love that. See, you nailed it.
Thank you. Yeah, great job.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, Anne-Marie, thank you so much for coming on. We were so excited about this episode in particular to catch up and let everybody know how you're doing and let everybody see how amazing, as Teresa said, how amazing you look. You're glowing, and we're so happy for you and excited to see what you do next. So we can't wait. And thank you again for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Great to see you, ladies.
Yes, wonderful chatting with you.
Yeah. So just a quick reminder before we let everybody else go, we want your questions, all the financial questions that you may have, or even you can throw in maybe some women and health questions and we'll bring Marie back on to answer them. So send your questions to podcast@Curo Private Wealth. If we answer your question on the podcast, we will send you a $10 Amazon gift card as a thank you for taking the time to send in your question. Please, if you got value out of this episode, share it with a friend or two, and make sure to give us a 5-star review, a rating. Let us know what you loved. And we thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we will be back here for another episode next week.
We're rolling.
We are.
All right.
Ciao for now.
Bye. Live rich.
Bye-bye.